I won't be long, I'm just setting up the live stream. Or setting up my monitor of the live stream, I should say, on a second computer. Okay, just about there. So that I can monitor if anybody comments. So let's have a quick look at the volume levels. So I'm coming through fairly loud, but not wonderfully. Okay, that's a little bit better. We'll see how we get on once we've got the engine up and running. Okay, so we're inside the airplane. Let's get the head tracking on. So this is the more powerful version of the DA42, so it's going to be interesting to see how we get on with it, really. Okay, I'll switch on. It's noisy, isn't it? Well, that started easily. Just wait for everything to fire up inside the airplane. Let's see what the volume levels are like. Okay, yeah, I'm being defeated by the airplane volume, so I'll turn the airplane down a bit so you can hear me over it. So we've got the route mapped out, so that should make life fairly straightforward for us today. So you can see the river for the first part of the flight. So we'll put actually we won't do the pitot heat till we get to the runway. So let's go and have a look and see. So yeah, we're going to double back on ourselves and then come out onto the runway back here and then take off almost straight into the wind, which would be good. Just jumped into the simulator, so I haven't actually checked anything about the aeroplane. So how much fuel have we got on board? We've got half tank. Should we put a bit more fuel in? Do this while the engine's running. Perfectly safe. Okay. It's a good point, actually. I'm just going to go and have a look and see if we got any. Oh, we're following the river, aren't we? So we're not going to need radio navigation or anything like that. Just wondering whether we should switch this over to. We should probably put it on GPS on the CDI just to give us some bearings. Right. Calibrate the altimeter and uncage the attitude indicator. And I think we're pretty much looking okay. So we may actually have a play with some of the lighting today because it's quite dim in the cockpit. So should we turn on some of the... Yeah, it hasn't made a huge amount of difference, has it? Okay. So we're off the parking brake. Just trying to avoid this guy stood here. Actually, he has to turn right. Put the taxi light on, might be an idea, mightn't it? So the weather is not being kind to us, but I'm sticking with live weather because it makes it more fun. Okay, towards the runway. Full power. Gear up. We ought to have the landing lights on really. As you can see, we are going to be fighting the elements. Let's zoom in slightly on the view. I think it's a bit too panoramic, isn't it, in this default configuration? We're sat a bit too far back as well. Okay, so the Clearwater River. You can see this on the map. We're just about to go and join it. So Clarkston and Lewiston are the two settlements either side of the river. Can't see them from here, can we? Oh, the wonders of aircraft views. It's very regimented, isn't it, with all the block structure. Okay, let's turn the landing lights off and the taxi lights off. We're going to follow the river. So I'm going to try and keep an eye on comments on the live stream without crashing the aeroplane. We'll see how we do. I'll have to turn the head tracking off, obviously. Otherwise, I'll be looking out of the left window the whole time I'm looking at the second screen. So, Andy says, Mr. Beckett, other than the yoke, joystick and or foot pedals, do you basically utilise cockpit instruments via the interface on the monitor? Yes. I haven't got any other hardware. Actually, that's a lie. I've got a Stream Deck, but I don't bother using it for that. I use it for other things. And Philly Roche says, can I ask, does your flaps go to full if you press escape to go to options and then back to the game? Mine does lately, very annoying. No. So you've obviously got something mapped to the escape key, maybe? I think we're going to have to descend, aren't we? Keep out of this murky rain, although it looks like we're going to pass through some rain in a few moments. Don't need to call me sir. I'm just a flight sim enthusiast like everybody else. These hills look very real, don't they? Especially with the rain lashing them. Very, very cool. Will I be trying 2024? Yeah, when it comes out, I'll have a look at it. It will probably replace 2020, won't it, for most people? So it'll be interesting to see what they've done with it. I hope there's not too many gamified functions. I have a horrible feeling it is just going to be 2020 with gaming bits bolted on. But we'll wait and see. Because they've already, Asobo have already admitted that there are elements that they're working on for 2024 that they're already folding into 2020. So Andy Probert is learning to fly the Caravan. That's one of the best planes to learn with, to be honest. The texturing around here is fantastic, isn't it? It looks real. Very, very good. Mind you, I guess the rain probably helps that. What aircraft is this? This is the DA42 from COWS that came out a few days ago. You can buy it from Orbex, I believe. Probably available from lots of other places as well now. As you can see, we are fighting the rain. So I'm having to descend and descend to keep the ground in view below us. Hopefully it will clear up a bit in a little while. How does it compare to the DA62? It's very similar. But obviously the visibility is much, much better because you haven't got the huge hoop on the front of the canopy. It's basically wrap around canopy with no supports. It's like a bubble, which is brilliant. The rain isn't helping us, is it? Streaming off the canopy. I think it's clearer out in the distance. Yeah, you can see it's clearing over there. Much better. So we'll try to do touch and goes where it makes sense that we can do them. So I think there's an airport coming up in the next few miles. Just on the bend of the river here. So we'll have a look at it first, we'll overfly it and then figure out how we're going to come in. Let's have a look at the map actually. So oh no, sorry, that's just a navigation point. We've got a little way to go. It's Orofino Municipal that we're looking for, which is a little way further down the valley. Yeah, we're out of the rain, hurrah! Shall we put some power down? Chugging along at 50% power. This would probably make a good place for a group flight, wouldn't it? Following along the river valleys. Yeah, so just looking at Harold's comment there, I think everybody's hoping that they're going to fix the multi-threading issue with the sim, especially with around loading assets. So, you know, when it's loading aircraft models and textures and things in, so it doesn't affect the main loop of the simulator then. Okay, so we follow along this valley. It carries on way up here in front of us, look, for quite some distance. The textures are fantastic, aren't they? Looks very good. More rain over that way. It's only light rain though. Scoot across the cockpit so we can look out down at the houses that we're just buzzing. This looks very man-made, doesn't it, this cutting? You can see the ridge in the hill where they've cut the river out. Maybe it was used as a trade route back in the day. I never put the pitot heat on, did I? But I think it's 7 degrees outside. It's saying you only need to worry normally when you get down to about 4 degrees, I think. I guess we can turn it on, and it'll make the annunciator warning go away. Should we climb a little bit? Get some view of the landscape nearby. Because we're in such a big valley, we're going to have to climb quite a lot to see anything, so I think we'll just level out. About 2,000 and a bit feet should be fine. So this is the corner where we will find the airfield. Let's have a quick look. See which way the runways are going for the wind. So it looks like we'll be going for runway 27. If we check the wind on the ground, we're getting no weather readout. That's really helpful. Okay, we'll just have to hope for the best when we get there. Now I think there's a dam here, so we'll circle and have a look at the dam. And I think it's been properly modelled. It's part of the US update. So before we do the touch and go, we'll go and circle over the edge of the dam here. You can see, look, the wall of the dam here. Very impressive. So if I circle left over it, obviously we're sitting on the left side of the aeroplane. So we'll get a good view of it. Do I have any favourite places or for flying in for the scenery? That's a really good question, and not really. I'm always looking for new places. There are. It depends on the weather, I think, is the answer. I mean, this obviously looks amazing around here, but depending on the time of day. I think one that's always stuck in my mind, I did a big jet flight with a group flight with my air into Nagasaki, and it was just happened to be, you know, from the approach we did from the south with the weather and the sun going down, it was absolutely beautiful. That's a hell of a dam, isn't it? Okay, so where's the airfield? Should be just round to the left down here. So we'll have to manage our descent somehow. And manage how we're going to climb back out. There it is. So we need to approach from the other end though, for the wind. So I'm off the throttle already, but we have to descend as well, remember. One of the party tricks in this aeroplane is side slipping. It makes the best noise. So we'll, I guess if we bob over the top of this hill and then loop back round into the river through the inlet here, that would be a good way to approach, wouldn't it? And then come back up to the airfield. Watch out for the pylons. Get the gear down for some drag. Flaps down. Okay, back to takeoff flaps. Rotate. Gear up. So Andy's asking, is that done with the rudder? Yeah, side slipping, you push the nose to one side so the air hits the side of the airplane. Obviously it causes a lot of drag, but you have to drop the opposite wing to maintain the direction you were going. So if I don't drop the wing, the plane will just start to corkscrew. So what you do is you hold rudder one way, like that, and then hold the opposite side with aileron. So you kind of skid the aeroplane through the air. But it's the way aeroplanes used to use to slow down before flaps were invented. So we need to turn around again. Have we got enough room? Just about. Okay, off on our way again. Continuing upriver. So there's the airfield we just did the touch and go at. So we're going to follow on down the river past Greer. There is another small airfield, a grass strip. We could have a look at it. It's 3,000 feet, so it's quite long. Just before the next turn on our plan. So we'll see how we get on. The amount of detail is stunning, isn't it? It really is amazing. So somebody mentioned dam busters there. I guess we could have a mess around with that, couldn't we? Do some whoops. Some similar. I'm not sure how low their approach was along the river. Be good fun for a few minutes, wouldn't it? See, at the moment, look, we're dropping down about 157 knots. If I was to side slip, you see the speed falling off, so we can come in much more steeply without gaining appreciably too much airspeed. This is where we find out how accurate the water mask is. See if we get any hills in the river. Have to be a little bit careful if we don't know the area. It's very well modelled, isn't it? don't think we'll try and go under the bridge, hey? I'm not going to tempt fate. Someone's asking about the graphics. It's running on Ultra, but my monitor is only running at 1080p. That's because I'm sending it to YouTube at 1080p. So there's no point in me running it at higher resolution than I need to be at. I used to run in 4K at home, but that involves then downscaling it to send it to YouTube, which eats a little bit of graphics horsepower to do that, and I couldn't ever see the point in doing it. And I'm not about to start recording in 4K because that quadruples the amount of data. Right. Enough flying along the river. Get a little bit more height. I think we're heading into bad weather as well, so a bit of height wouldn't hurt us. Or at least a little bit of height anyway. We've got a graphical anomaly down there below us. Here comes the rain. Yeah, we've got water streaming on the canopy again. It's about to get a lot worse. Well, we'll have seen all 4 seasons in this flight by the time we come out the other end of here. No wonder the landscape's so green with all of this water. It's very clever, isn't it? It's a heck of an achievement. And this is all stock scenery, remember. This is what you get out of the box with Flight Simulator. I mean, okay, I'm in a pay-wear aeroplane, but the scenery around us and the atmospheric modelling and the flight modelling, it's all out of the box Flight Simulator. The weather modelling, stunning really. straight line this across the floodplain here. I'll look at some of the farmland on the way across. Have you tried a VR headset? Yes, my dad's got one. Oh, here's that grass runway, look. So I'm guessing, based on the direction we were going earlier, we'd need to be going the opposite direction. We could put the wind up on the PFD, couldn't we? So yeah, the wind is coming from behind us. It's only a few knots though. But let's go and do a touch and go at this little... We're going to have to loop around and lose some speed though. So an easy way to lose speed is to side slip upwards as you do your turn. Look at the speed falling off. So gear can come down. Fastest touch and go on grass ever done, I think, coming up. We'll let some of the speed bleed off before we touch. Flaps back up to takeoff position. And rotate. And gear up. Flaps up. I guess it's easier to turn this way. There's more room this side on the flat land, isn't there? Look at that rain streaming over the canopy. And it suddenly stopped. Oh no, it hasn't. Here it is again. Is Flight Sim superior to X-Plane, or are there certain functions you like more in either? Well, I've not played with X-Plane. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've played with X-Plane 12 on somebody else's computer. In terms of the modelling of the environment, X-Plane can't compete at all. Even if you talk in terms of adding extra weather add-ons to simulate the world around you, the amount of work that's gone into Flight Simulator with modelling the airflow over the scenery and things like that, X-Plane just hasn't got any of that. In terms of the aerodynamics, I'm not a real pilot, so I couldn't tell you, in terms of flight modelling. But from what I've read, I think Flight Sim has overtaken it, but only for certain aeroplanes. I saw a back-to-back comparison with the out-of-the-box Cessnas between Flight Sim and X-Plane with a real pilot, a instructor that had thousands of hours in Cessnas. And he seemed to think the Flight Sim one felt more like the real thing than X-Plane did. But, everything's subjective, though. That's the problem. And I think the thing that... Look, what's the word I'm trying to say? I think what complicates it is people tend to defend their purchasing decisions. In reality, they are both very good simulators. But I think if you take a balanced view of it, Flight Sim has overtaken X-Plane. And certainly value for money wise of what you get out of the box, it's not even a, you can't really even compare them. Now, which side of the hill do we go? Does it really matter? Should we go this side just to make it a bit more interesting rather than following the river all the way? But yeah, I used to run X-Plane 11 before Flight Sim 2020 arrived. I used X-Plane 11 almost exclusively. But the big problem with X-Plane is you have to spend a fortune on scenery upgrades to get it anywhere near this. Whereas out of the box, this is just stunning, isn't it? And it's the entire world at this level. There are some advantages to the things that Flight Simulator models that X-Plane doesn't, as well as the blade element theory, which Flight Sim does a version of it, and it actually uses more data points when it does it than X-Plane does. Flight Sim also uses computational fluid dynamics, so it kind of draws a box around the aeroplane in its head, and then it models molecules flying through that box and hitting the shape of the aircraft. I think it's like voxel, kind of the way it simplifies it, because obviously it can't simulate every particle in the atmosphere. It simulates that box that the airplane's within and makes force, or it derives the forces from what's happening within that box. But it adds that to the blade element stuff that's going on and resolves all the forces, but obviously it's doing it many, many times a second. But you can actually see a visualization of the path those particles are taking if you turn on the view of the aerodynamics. You get to see it from outside, and you see the streams of air over the shape of the aeroplane, of how it's working out, what's happening to the airflow. It's really fascinating with helicopters, because you even get to see the airflow leaving underneath the blades, and in certain situations going back in through the top of the blades, where it simulates things like vortex ring state and things like that. It's very, very cool. The scenery is amazing, isn't it? Okay, so do we have another airfield, or is this just a navigation point that I've marked in? It's just a navigation point, so we're turning, after we turn right, we've got the next airfield, which is KGIC. It's just lit up, look, on the map. So we'll follow the valley down this way and then make our right turn. Should we zoom in a little bit? So we can see some of the contours on the shaded areas then. Does that mean I ought to be actually climbing out over the top of here then? Go and find the airfield. So I think we're leaving the river behind now and out across the hills. What airplane do I recommend buying? Depends what you want to do, really. If you just want to have fun flying around, all of the Coronado aeroplanes are fantastic and they look almost real. If you like hand-flying aeroplanes and you're not so worried about having an autopilot, the is it the Archer, the little Coronado Piper Archer, is very, very good. If you want an autopilot, the 182RG retractable gear is really, really good. If you want something a bit different, the Coronado Skymaster, is it 337? I can never remember the number of it. It's very good. It's the one with the two engines, one pushing, one pulling. If you want a really realistic aeroplane that you're going to have to work hard to look after and to operate correctly, then the A2A Comanche 250 is probably still the reference for a lot of the others. There are some really good twins as well, though. There's the Cessna 310. I forget who makes it. Is it Blackbird or it used to be Milviz? So we should be seeing a beacon. Yeah, we can see the beacon of the airfield out in front of us. So let's have a look at the wind before we get there. So we would be coming in runway 26 then. So we'll just circle the airfield before we come in and land. There's also the 414 from Simworks Studios, I think, that's really, really good, the Chancellor. What else? Oh, all of the Black Square aeroplanes are fantastic. But it depends if you like analog gauges, though. I like the Black Square aeroplanes because they've got analog instrumentation in the cockpits. If you like glass screens, you won't like the Black Square aeroplanes. Do I ever use the outside view? Yeah, I can do. It's a strange looking little aeroplane, isn't it? Okay, we're just bleeding some speed off as we loop back around. Keep an eye on the runway and where we are in relation to it. bit of a crosswind. You can see we're being pushed to the right. So what we can do is that side slip technique. You can force the aeroplane across the wind. So you're pointing down the runway so you don't go skidding sideways across the runway when you get there. And then you just dip the wings up and down to traverse left or right as you need to. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of right rudder there to hold it straight. Gear up. You can see, look, now I've released the rudder. Look at the crab angle going on. That's weathercocking, so the wind's coming in and pushing the tail round. So the nose is going obviously the opposite direction. Okay, so we've got a fairly long leg now out across the fields. So I may engage autopilot now. So yeah, we've got half an hour. So what we could do is engage the autopilot and take us up to a sensible altitude. So I'll put the autopilot on. So it's doing pitch and roll hold by default. We'll press the heading bug. We'll go to heading mode now. So it will maintain the direction I've just selected. You can see we're on just on a tiny crab angle across the GPS track. But while we're just holding that heading, which is fine, we're climbing at 900 feet a minute at the moment. Let's go and set a target altitude of, say, 8,000 feet maybe. And then we can say vertical speed to get that. And set it to whatever we want. So 1,000 feet a minute. And we can see here on the wind we're being pushed towards the track. So if we just give it a few minutes, we'll be on the GPS track, and then we'll just press the nav button to hold it. If we need to climb any more steeply, we can if we have to. We've got plenty of power left over to do that. I think we'll be fine. Let's have a look at the map. So, we have a different plan. Oh, we're going to Oxbow, aren't we? That's not on my original plan. Add airports. Oh, yeah, add it to the plan. There we go. So that's where we're heading. Oxbow first, and then over to Baker City. So half the reason for doing this was to see these hills, but we're really not going to see very much, are we? I guess we'll see them from a safe altitude in the rain. Should we change our target altitude to 6,000? There we go, it's doing altitude capture. And come off the power a bit now. Okay, if I turn the head tracking off for a moment. Let's go and press the nav button now. So the airplane will probably track gently left. So you can see it's gone to GPS now, so it's going to straighten up onto the track for us, and we can just leave it going. So 845 Sim said he's in the diesel version. Yeah, it's a little bit slower, isn't it? So Adam says, when will you do a video of flying a glider? I've only ever had one go in a glider in Flight Simulator. Oh look, Sim's just frozen. Why has it done that? Give it a moment. It will recover. It always does. Famous last words. There we go. Being buffeted a bit by the wind, by the turbulence, isn't it? Strange looking engine pods, aren't they? The nacelles are they're very aerodynamic, I guess, but I didn't turn the landing light off, did I? Again. That's what happens when you chatter and then don't have a checklist in front of you. Okay. So, am I still doing this right? I've got a waypoint missing, haven't I, on my plan? Oh well. Now there's a view. So what height do we need to clear those hills in front of us? Because we're obviously not high enough. Should we take it up to 8? Oops. Just recentering the head tracking. Looks a bit eerie out there, doesn't it, in the rain? Let's open the engines up. It's got an electronic throttle, or power system I should say, on this, so you don't have to worry about mixture or pressures, or it's all fairly automated. The engine management system does it all for you. You just need to, I guess, keep an eye on temperatures and pressures. But yeah, you literally just have the throttles to work with. It has got defrost and carb heating, things like that. I'm not sure if it's actually simulated to need them, you know, if you can ice up the carburetors or not. I think we've come out of the weather. Right, I'm going to go make a quick coffee. I'll leave it on the outside view and I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll leave it showing this valley, I guess. It's a bit prettier, isn't it? Oh, there's some aeroplanes above us. I'm just going to check something. It's going to be a close shave. Okay, we're going to put another couple of thousand feet on the aeroplane before I disappear. We'll just tell it to climb at 500 feet a minute up to 10,000. Have I turned on the engine damage? Yeah, the engine damage is on, but this has got an electronic engine management system, so I mean, yeah, probably I shouldn't be running it more above 95% for extended periods, but as you can see though, the pressures and temperatures are all good. This is the wonder of modern aviation, where the engine management system looks after such things for you to a great extent. Right, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'll just make this view look nice before I disappear. Alright, see you soon. Right, turn back. So, Deepers is saying, how would flight sim run on an R7 3700X and RX? I have no idea, is the answer to that one. Right, we're going to go manual now and fly these valleys. This is half the reason that this leg of the flight came out this way, is so we could fly along here. So I'm just gonna straighten this up. There we go. dip down a little bit into the valleys. Hello, clouds. Isn't the weather different this end? Suddenly have snow on the hilltops. Need to be careful of speed as we descend. Something I need to have a read about with the DA42 is when you pull the power all the way back, I think the blades feather, but I need to have a read about that. So you need a detent before you get all the way back. I was just worried about leaving the airplane on autopilot while I was flying unattended and crashing into a mountain while I was making a coffee. It's amazing scenery around here, isn't it? So we should be able to follow this line of hills down towards Oxbow. That's interesting how the snow has only formed on one side. Wonder how that works. Yeah, I'm just reading the comment there. Someone's saying if you could get rid of the roof and have a full glass cockpit, the view would be stunning. It would, but then this is how the real aeroplane is. It has this cover. So if we go and look at it from outside, you can get a better view of it. Yeah. You wouldn't want to have an engine failure along here, would you? There's not really many choices of where to put the aeroplane down. If any. Having said that, has anybody tried this? Shutting the engines down while you're in flight? Let's turn one of them off. Pretty cool, isn't it? And the wind pushes it round now and again. It's very, very nicely done. And of course you saw as soon as I cut the engine, the aeroplane lurched to the right because it's lost some thrust. There we go, look, we've just been overtaken because we're down to one engine. Should we get it started again? Well, we really have had all the seasons now, haven't we? We've had sunshine, we've had torrential rain, now we've got snow. Fantastic. Going a bit fast. I'm going to pull back. Okay, so Oxbow is not actually a proper, you know, the airfield's not actually in service at the moment, but that's not going to stop us doing a touch and go there, I don't think. Best not to wrap the aeroplane around the hillside there, hey? I think we can turn these lights off now. We've got some light outside. Okay, so whereabouts are we in relation to the airfield? Let's zoom in. Oops. So, this is saying about 4 minutes until we get there. Okay. We drop right down to the water's edge just for a bit of fun and terrify the traffic. Can you imagine building these roads out here? Oh my word. You can see where the AI has given up here and there. Look, it's starting to lose the illusion of it being accurate if you get too close to it. Oh, that's a shame. So, a few more bends in the river and we should be at our destination. Or not a destination, the second to last, actually. Got one more to go after this one. I thought I'd end at a bigger airfield where there was actually some hangars and parking, which is why we're not stopping at Oxbow. hills are a bit scary, aren't they? Okay. So seeing as we don't have the final airfield on the flight plan, I guess we could modify it, couldn't we? Oh, it does. This is saying it is on here. Cust A. Has it got it wrong? We could do a direct to, can't we, when we get there? Oh, it's a shame that's dropped out of range of it being a high-res texture. So here comes Oxbow then. We need to have a think now. How are we going to do this? Now this isn't officially an open airfield. So which way was the wind? Can we see? Okay, so we are coming in from the right side for the wind. This is going to be a problem, isn't it? So if we go tight to the right and then circle. Actually, can we... Yeah, we've got enough room. I'm just wondering how we're going to get down any lower than these hills. Keeping an eye on the attitude indicator. So if we stay out this way and then turn right just before we get to this hill. We'll use the gear for some drag. We're within flaps range now, so we'll go for flaps as well. And we'll side slip. Yeah, we'll be fine. So landing lights on. It's going to be a slight crosswind from the left when we get to the runway, so we just need to be mindful of that. Ignore the crosses. There's a fuel tank here though, look. So much for not in use. Okay, so next leg, let's have a look at LittleNavMap. We want to be flying 243 degrees, which is going to be straight out over the top of that hill. I wonder what the climb rate is like on this. Not that good. What do you reckon our chances are? Look at our airspeed. Is that a recipe for disaster, trying to ask the airplane to get to that ridge? I think it might be. I'm going to chicken out and circle.
500.
It's amazing scenery around here, isn't it? Mind you, we say that all the time in Flight Simulator, don't we? So 240 something degrees, wasn't it, we want? Which is going to be that ridge up there. Could do the usual barnstorming trick of charge at the hillside, getting speed up as we go, and then pull up at the last moment and exchange all of our leftover airspeed for altitude. Which is a crazy thing to do, but it's good fun. It always makes me smile for some reason doing that. Okay, so what's the ICAO code of the final airfield? Let's just level out for a moment so we don't go and have a huge accident. KBKE. There we go. Just looking at Sim's comment there. It's got the Paraline mod installed. I had that on until recently. I removed it just the other day, actually. So how long have we got to get there? It's estimating 13 minutes. I'm going to swig of my coffee, I think. Excuse me for a moment. I flipped the microphone above my head so I could have a swig of coffee. Let's have a look at the map. Let's see where we're passing over here. So we're going across the south edge of the Wallowa Whitman National Forest, if I could say it. About to pass over Carson, which is this little area down here by the look of it. The Jimtown General Store temporarily closed. Oh, that's a shame. We could have popped in. The historic Sparta Stage Stop stone building. Was it? Is that stop? Yeah. It's difficult to see if it says slop or stop. I think it's stop. The Sawmill Gulch Schoolhouse. Hole in the wall landslide. I wonder how many places there are in the US called Hole in the Wall. There's one in the Grand Canyon, isn't there? Or in Lake... It's either Grand Canyon or Lake Powell, I can't remember which. I think it's one of those places features in some of the history with the outlaws a couple of hundred years ago. So, on about settings for LittleNavMap, someone's asked. I have got an unofficial add-on for LittleNavMap which gives me things like Google Maps. If you just search for it, I think it's on FlightSim.2, somebody's made it available there. There are some files that you drop into the LittleNavMap folder structure, and when you restart it you get Google Maps as an option, because I can show the Google Maps terrain as well. Oh, sorry, satellite. I prefer the terrain view though, because it's nice and clean and it's very quick at drawing it. Yeah, so this bit of the journey isn't quite as spectacular as the earlier part, but you can't have everything, can you? Okay, what's the estimate now? 9 minutes to run. Shouldn't take too long. We could go and follow the highway, couldn't we? So if we were to follow this valley down, we'll straight line it, otherwise it will take ages. I guess we could descend across some of these rolling hills to make it a bit more fun to watch. So if we come off the power, start descending. Just keep an eye on that airspeed as we descend. So, have they modelled the grass on these hills? If we get close enough, do we get grass? tell there's, yeah, there is grass there. Awesome. So what do I think of this aeroplane? I think this version is much better than the diesel one. It's just got that little bit more power. Hey, we're nearly there. That must be the airfield somewhere out here. I thought that might be it there, but that doesn't agree with the map. It's going to be out to the left. Okay, so let's go and check the wind on the ground at the destination. 230, 3 knots. So it's coming in from this sort of direction. So we could go runway 17, I guess. So there's the river. The river's... it's just the other side of the river then. Or the second river. We'll circle it when we get there, so we can make an informed decision about the wind and the runway to use. Still 3 minutes out apparently. Would I choose the A2A Comanche or this? I think this is prettier. I think the A2A Comanche is one of the ugliest planes in the sim, but that's just me. You know, there's no arguing though that it's wonderfully simulated. It's going to be interesting to see what the Duke is like when it comes out from Black Square. I think he's going to go and revamp all of his aircraft to include the tablet he's built for the Duke. So that's going to be fascinating to have a look at. Okay, so where's the airfield? I'm hoping I'm looking in the right place. Is this over here? Just behind the leg in the river? Or the bend in the river, I should say. Let's remind ourselves on the map. Or is it down here? It's not jumping out at us, is it? Especially as it's got hard runways, but we're not seeing them. Am I just being blind? There it is. It's not very obvious. Okay. Oh, there's a beacon light. If I'd had my eyes open, I would have spotted the beacon. Okay, so we need to figure out a runway. What's the wind doing from here? Yeah, so we'll circle the airfield first and come back in for this runway here. Runway 13, is that? Looks like it, doesn't it? So we'll just fly out the opposite direction for a little way, lose some speed. So there's the reciprocal of 130. And speed's coming off, gear down, landing lights on. Oh sorry, the landing lights were already on. I've left them on again, haven't I? It's going to be a common theme today, I think. Those hills in the distance, they look amazing, don't they? Hey, we have lights. Savassi lights on the runway. Brilliant. So they're saying we need to be lower. There we go. A bit of a thump, but oh well. It's a shame there's no buildings here. Okay, he looks like he wants us to pull in over there. I've got to try and avoid the truck though, who's helpfully parked right in our way. Okay. Let some fresh air in. Oh, where'd he go? He disappeared as if by magic. Oh, there's our partner in crime for the flight. Right, there we go. That was good fun, wasn't it? Turn the head tracking off. So, where did we fly from? I can't even remember now. From Clearwater. Or no, we explored the Clearwater River, then we went through across the south of the Wallowa Whitman National Forest. Yeah, it was good fun. We started out at Lewiston-Nez Perce County in Oregon. And we've ended up at Baker City Municipal. Let's go and have a look on the map at where we went. So this whole area down through this valley was spectacular, wasn't it? And earlier on in the flight, the journey along the river was spectacular as well. So it's worth remembering to go and do a group flight from there at some point. Okay, anyway, I'm going to leave it there and I'll hopefully see you all again soon. Okay, take care.